Yes, dear children, today I'll be teaching you about the shock therapy. If you look at shock therapy, what does it say? It's a painful process. Now, what is shock therapy? It is a process which was done over Russia. In reality, when Russia changed from socialist system to the democratic capitalist system, the method applied was shock therapy. And who administered this system? It was World Bank and IMF. And shock therapy proved to be a very disastrous therapy for Russia because it led to a lot of problems for Russia. If you see in the second column, in the first line, it says there had to be a total shift, and what it meant was that privatization of property had to be done, and all the state assets had to be privatized, and collective farming was to be replaced by private farming. So by now you have got four features which were to be done, and there was no middle path. And in this situation, if you see, when Russia came, if the word, you look at the word shock therapy, it was very difficult for Russia to adjust. That is why the word shock therapy came. And what do you see? What did it involve? It involved drastic change and sudden change, and the whole economic pattern was to be changed to free trade and foreign direct investments. And what did it lead to? It led to total breakup of the existing trade alliance. In the second paragraph, if you see in the first column, you will see it says breakup of the existing system. And once this was done, it led to a lot of untold miseries for the people who were living in Soviet Union, because the whole economy fell flat, and this led to the greatest garbage sale that happened. And what do you see here? It says shock therapy was administered in 1990s, and it ruined the economy, and it led to disaster upon the people. And why? Because whole state controlled industry collapsed. What happened was, we see that all the companies collapsed, and market forces led to virtual disappearance of the entire industry. And we also remember it as the largest garage sale in history, because everything was sold at undervalued price. This means at throwaway prices things were sold. So it led to a great economic loss for the country, and it also led to collapse of the whole system. Further, what do I see? It says that the value of money, ruble was the money there, it also declined drastically, and the system of agriculture also became totally ineffective, and the life of the people, government withdrew subsidies, and the intellectual people also started migrating from the people, and mafia emerged. And even today, you see most of the countries which were in the past under Russia, they were under one communist party, now they are under one or the other non-democratic government, or whoever is ruling forever type situation, which means that the situation is not at all good. In the next page, what do I see? It says the effect on democratic institution. And what do we see? That all these countries were, the constitution was drafted very quickly, and what happened was, most of the countries became such that they did not allow democracy to develop. You see in Russia, very strong executive president, the power was all concentrated in presidents. In Turkmenistan also, in Uzbekistan also. Imagine, in any government, usually the rule is of 4 years or for 5 years. When you look at India, India is being ruled for 5 years. After 5 years, you have election. In America, the election takes place after 4 years. But here, the rule is for 10 years. So this means democracy got muzzled, and democracy did not exist in these countries. And what do we find is that most of the resources that were existing in few countries, And what do we find? That Russian economy, how did it grow back again? Because of the resources that were existing, like oil, which it started exporting, and this led to again a bit of development in Russia. And with this, we complete this topic of the shock therapy. So, if you ask me what is shock therapy, I will say the shock therapy are series of changes introduced by the IMF and World Bank, which led to fast change in Russia, but this change was not very properly administered. Therefore, it led to a shock to the lifestyle of people, and it led to ruins of the industries, lives, and people. So, it was a total ruin for Russia, when because the change took place very fast, and democracy could also not be established in those countries. Thank you.